Hey guys, in today's video we're in the Turbo RX8. We're talking servicing. Hey guys, Aston here from the Essex Rotary channel. I'm the man behind the voice anyway. I'm just on the way back from the local delivery depot collecting some Black Halo parts for customers. Just thought on the way I'd do something a little bit different, maybe like a face-to-face video, however you want to call it. Just thinking, what am I going to talk about? So far today I've received several phone calls from customers about servicing their cars. And let's be honest, the resale price, or the perceived resale price of the RX8 in the UK is pretty low. So we're seeing lots of people, or lots of potential owners over here, which feel that just because the car's cheap, they don't need to be maintaining it. That then causes knock-on effects, which, to be frank, bad servicing on a rotary engine, it's only going to lead to one thing: engine rebuild. There's lots of other stuff that can go wrong as well, but yeah. So I just thought we've got a feature on our technical section on our website regarding this kind of stuff, adjustments to the Mazda service schedule, which may be a little more forgiving. But I thought nothing better than actually sitting and watching. All right, my ugly mug, but nothing better than sitting and watching a video that's explaining some of this to you. So let's start with the important stuff. Oil. We know oil's important in any engine. A rotary engine, it's even more important really. We all know there's the myths, they use more oil than fuel. Yes, it's not entirely true, but by design the rotary engine has to inject oil into the engine to lubricate the seals, apex seals, side seals, whatever. It all needs lubricating, or you're getting metal on metal, and that just leads to engine failure again. So what do? Mazda recommends 12,500 mile oil change intervals. We all know, if you're an enthusiast, we all know that's not a good thing. 3,000 to 6,000 mile oil change intervals is ideal. We get customers, they come in, they're happy to change it every 1,000 miles. They may not be doing that many miles a year, but it still makes sense. Clean oil reduces the chance of the oil injectors, the oil lines that feed from the oil metering pump to the oil injectors, from getting clogged. Clean oil is just good in general. Grades of oil, Essex Rotary, there's no one scenario fits all. You know, if you want something cheap, something that's not going to break the bank, we do some basic mineral 1540 or 1040 oils. Some semi-synthetics are okay, but it's a bit of a grey area. So if you really want to play it safe, look for a mineral. Good quality oils. I mean, if you're looking for something that's more performance orientated than just basically on price, so there's a 1030 from Synonic that we do. We also do Idemitsu, which is a 1030 fully synthetic. It's safe to use in the engine with the oil metering pump still installed. It's not a problem. In actual fact, it helps to keep the engine clean internally. Oil filters, yeah. You got your basic stuff, and then there's the performance stuff. But generally, as long as you're changing it on a regular basis, you're okay. Beyond that, excuse me, beyond that, a good performance oil filter, they're built to a quality, not just a price. So you're going to be paying more for a good oil filter than you are for an aftermarket pattern one, let's say. But as long as you're changing it regular, that's the important thing. What else can you do then? So we've covered oil basically. What else? Air filter. Check your air filter on a regular basis. Don't just go out and buy the cheapest air filter you can find. A decent quality air filter, change it regular. We generally recommend yearly, which is a lot more frequent than what Mazda actually say. But with a restricted air filter comes a restricted air delivery into the engine. In theory, less power. Spark plugs, again, if you're not changing them regular and you're not doing a lot of miles, at least remove and inspect them. We normally say 12 months to 24 months or 12 to 24,000 miles maximum. But yeah, it's one of them things. They're not cheap, don't get me wrong, we understand that. But as long as you're changing them on a regular basis, or at least inspecting them to make sure that they're in good operating condition, that's better than doing nothing. And if they do look like they're bad, then get them changed as soon as possible. We see so many plugs which they're a victim of old OEM HT leads. The OEM HT leads allow moisture into the end of the boots, which can in turn cause corrosion on the plug tips. And in worst case scenarios, we've actually seen the metal plug cores corrode and break away. There's plenty of pictures of that on our social media, guys. So check the plugs. HT leads leading on from there. Try and prevent corrosion. A good set of HT leads. Magna-Core, MSDs are our favourite. But yeah, get them changed. Either Magna-Core or MSD should be good for the life of the car. It should outlast probably your ownership unless you're planning to keep it forever. Finishing off the ignition system, you're looking at coil packs. Now this is one big massive grey area all of its own. Not grey area really, it's more of a minefield. There's so many manufacturers offering coil packs that sometimes it's difficult to know what's right and what's wrong. The basic guide is either go genuine or go upgrade. We're obviously a Blackadder racing dealer. That's our preferred aftermarket upgrade. The coils on this car, as a matter of fact, were purchased in 2009 from Blackadder Racing. They've done 75,000 miles, 77,000 miles maybe by now. They're still going strong. They haven't shown any signs of issues, and they're still being used. Original Mazda ones is widely accepted, about 30,000 miles at tops. Do not, under any circumstances, buy pattern coil packs. They are a bad idea and will kill your cat. Even if they seem like the car's running okay, we've seen so many coil packs which have damaged cats because the customer's been and bought a cheap set to save money. So I'm not going to go too in depth as to what coil pack's best and how to identify pattern ones from genuine. That's a video completely of its own making. So yeah, maybe look out for that one in a following episode. So we've briefly sort of covered what oil, filters, engine oil, spark plugs, leads, coils, air filter. So what else is there? Coolant's often overlooked. If you're not running FL22, it should be changed on a regular basis. Now, we normally recommend 4-year service or 4-year coolant changes if you're using, say, a 5-year service life coolant. If you're running FL22, it's going to last 11 years. So do it at year 10, see if you've still got the car. Beyond that, do not mix coolants. There's certain different coolants which aren't going to like being in your rotary engine very much. They can cause corrosion and all sorts of nasties if left in over time. While I'm on the subject, do not use water. When I say water, we're talking tap water. That is the worst thing you can put in an engine, not just a rotary engine. Yes, they need a certain level of water, but only use the ionised water if you're adding it. Tap water will basically accelerate the corrosion process. Change it regular, make sure it's topped up. So from there, where else do we go? Premix, it's not really a servicing thing, but we recommend running a good quality premix. Our preferred one's Idemitsu. It's going to add an extra level of lubrication to the inside of your engine. You could almost call it a servicing item in that case. But if you go into premix, premix. Do it on a regular basis. There's no point in just doing it occasionally. Well, we don't feel there is anyway. So we've covered off the majority of the engine components. What's left? Brake fluid, gearbox, transmission if you're in the US, oil, diff oil. You know, there's lots of other items as well. You could look at brakes, blah blah blah. But let's just look at the basics. Brake fluid is often overlooked because the brakes work. Although you'd be amazed at the improvement you're going to see by flushing the brake fluid with new stuff on a regular basis. We normally use a .5.1, which has got a higher boiling point. We also, at Essex Rotary, we also do the Project Mu G4 335, which has got an extremely high boiling point. But for regular road use, if you're not going to be thrashing the pants off your rotary, it's not a bad thing, by the way, but for regular road use, we'd recommend using a .5.1. Change it once every 2 years. It should look a nice amber colour, or like a very light yellow tint to it at least. If it's looking brown, black, if there's bits floating in it, it's been in there a long time. Chances are there's a lot of moisture floating around in that brake fluid as well, which is not going to be doing your braking efficiency any favours. As a side note, brake fluid testers can be bought relatively cheaply, and they'll give you a rough idea of what your brake fluid moisture level is. So if you're into a bit of home maintenance, they can be used on any car. So that's a nice little purchase to at least give you an idea of what's going on. The brake fluid, yeah, it's important, more important than a lot of people think it should be, or think it is anyway. Other than that, different gearbox oil. Gearbox, we've had, in the UK, there was a spate a few years ago of gearbox synchros being damaged by certain brands of oil. I'm not going to go into that one, but at least make sure your gearbox oil's changed on a regular basis. Use a good oil. In some cases, don't use a mixed GL rating. These certain brands of oil were a mixed GL4, GL5 compatible. So we normally say, unless you're going with something that is known to be a good oil and has been trusted in these engines, or gearboxes for that fact, for a number of years, make sure you go with a single GL rated oil. 75/90 is normally the grade we'd use here, or not in the car, but at the workshop. Diff oil as well, use a good quality diff oil. Change the gearbox oil, we normally say every 4 years. We do a lot of track days and other activities in our own cars, so we normally try and change the gearbox oil yearly in our own vehicles, but 4 year intervals is realistic if you're not doing anything too stressful to the vehicles. Diff oil, generally 2 to 3 years. We prefer a 2 year interval, but again, change it regular, keep it good quality. To wrap up, really, I've been going on a little while, but to wrap up, the key point with servicing any vehicle, especially a rotary vehicle, is change the components, even if it's not service but it's repairs. Change the components when they need to be done. Don't put it off. One of the biggest things is with these cars is people put a minor job off of replacing something which they may not have the money to do it comfortably this week or next week. They put it off until payday comes around, and that generally, or in some cases, will bite you in the arse, and it's going to mean you're going to take a painful bill into an extremely painful bill to replace other stuff which may need to be replaced because you've left part A on there for far too long and it's damaged part B and C. So yeah, the RX8, RX7, amazing cars, but make sure you're servicing them and changing the parts when they need to be done. Don't put them off. I've spoke for a while, you know, I'm just about to get off the main road, the A13, back towards the workshop now. But to wrap up, yeah, make sure you're doing your servicing. They aren't cheap cars to maintain. They're cheap cars to buy, but that doesn't mean you can maintain them cheaply. I'm going to sign off. I'm firstly going to apologise for this terrible purple and Takata green clash I've got going on tonight. But yeah, it was kind of an off-the-cuff kind of video, so I'm not getting dressed up for this one. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you again, or we will be seeing you again soon, guys. Keep watching the channel. You've got any questions, comments, anything, leave them down there. I'm happy to try and answer them. Finally, it pains me to say it, but yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Hell, give me a thumbs down if you don't agree. Leave a comment and I'm happy to get back to you, it's not a problem. But yeah, we're happy to interact, so yeah. I'm going to sign off, guys. We'll see you again soon. Happy Rotary. Oh, PS, on a side note, often overlooked, just like I've done, cabin filters. They are normally disgustingly grotty because everyone forgets about them. They can actually improve the air circulation inside the car. So they're found just behind the glove box. There's a small compartment or panel you've got to remove. Use a decent quality cabin filter, but change it regular. You'd be amazed the amount of crap and nasties I've found in a cabin filter that I don't really want to be talking about. But yeah, change them regular, especially if you suffer from hay fever. It'll help filter a lot of the pollen out in the sort of leading into spring and summer months. Help with your runny nose, you know. So yeah. Hi guys, we're in the Essex Rotary RX8 today. Hey guys, today we're in the Turbo S. Hey guys, today we're in the Turbo RX8. We want to talk about service and maintenance.